Hi, this is Michelle with MonTECH, and I am going to talk to you about the new Proloquo. So the old one is Proloquo to Go. The new one is just called Proloquo. It also comes with Proloquo Coach, which does some teaching on how to use the app and some suggestions, which are great for providers and families. So Proloquo came up with this app because they realized that communication device buttons were getting moved on kids, and kids weren't able to find certain buttons. And some buttons that adults thought were necessary, the kids didn't necessarily think were necessary. So they came up with this system after collecting a lot of data and the most used buttons and where they were located and how to do them. So you can't change the button sizes on this app. The button sizes are set. It does have tabs at the top that you can use. I'll show you here in a minute. And it has a ton of words. It's really based on growing with the user. There are a ton of words in here for education. So words that you wouldn't think were in there. One example that I give a lot of people is the word board. So board, a lot of times if you think about lamp and the word orange, it's only in the fruit, not in the colors. In Proloquo, you'll find board for classroom board, construction board, I'm bored. You can find it in all those places. So you think about what you're looking for and then you can search for it in here. So I am going to give you a more in-depth look of this app and show you how it works. One thing I forgot to mention is that this app is cloud-based. So it is a login-based program. So you will never lose what you're working on and you can log in from other iPads. MonTECH does have a 3-month trial loan, so you could borrow this app for 3 months and see how it works for you. And then if you decide to purchase it, your data will all be saved. So any changes you made will be saved for you. There is a free trial for therapist as well, but you will want to have individual ones for the children. So let's get started. You can see there are these different colors rows. All of these are they're all grouped together and they can open. So I just touched the orange tab and we have a lot more word options here. And then I can touch the pink tab, lots more words. And they're grouped together in similar words. If the word you're looking for isn't here, you can touch at the bottom here where the arrow is. You can tap that and you can see more words in that category. Anytime you're in there and you want to get back out, you just hit the home button in the top left corner. These are in order of the way you would build a sentence. So I have two. What do I want to say? I have two easy. All right, so I have two easy, and then we're not sure what we want to say. The yellow tab is all of our nouns. So if you tap the yellow tab, all of the ones that have this little bubble at the top, the darker color, are all folders. So anything that has that is going to have more words behind it. So let's try nature. We have all of our nature words here. If we need more, we hit the arrow to the side and we have more words. I'm going to go back home and I'm going to start over. So let's go back to the nouns and talk a little bit about that. I'm going to open the yellow folder. You can see on the right-hand side, you have all these little words. Some people say their kids can't read these words. They're going to start to memorize those just like they memorize pictures. So don't worry about that. They'll use that when they're ready. The other thing I want to show you is down at the bottom, there's the letter A and the word the, and those stay there. So anytime you need a small word, those words will be there. Let's go to government. You can see here there's no extra folders over on the left-hand side, but on the right-hand side, we could click on politics, military, or leaders. Let's click on military. And then we have all these other words that go with military. We can go to the next page and we have even more. So it really depends on the level that the kid can handle on how you teach this. Don't be discouraged that maybe your child isn't ready for this many words. The fact that they're available is what's important. when they get into school and they start with this in elementary school and they're just using some basic words, the toys words, that, things they're interested in, animals, things like that, these words will still be there later. And maybe they've played with it before and it's much easier to get to. Now I'm going to show you a couple of really cool things. We have down in the right-hand corner, we have the search button. First we have the keyboard. And tap the keyboard, really easy access to the keyboard. Then we have the search button. You hit search. It's like a lot of the other apps. You can type in train and hit search. Let's say we want train somebody at their job. Let's do train like vehicles. So I click on that one. It's showing me where to hit. I need to hit the yellow tab at the top. Then I need to hit vehicles. And then I have train. So that's how the search button works. Now I'm going to show you the edit button. It's the very last one. Oh, first I should show you, after I hit train, you can see on the right-hand side the words that came up that are in white, outlined in orange. We can go choo-choo, caboose, all words related to train. So if your child is at that level, they can now say a more complex word than just train, which is amazing. They can also add plurals to the word as well. So, as I was saying, I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit the edit button down in the bottom right-hand corner. Just going to hit the pencil at the bottom. Now we're in edit mode. I'm going to hit the yellow tab at the top to bring up all my nouns. And real quick, you can see at the very bottom, there is a circle with an X inside. That means you cannot add a button there. Proloquo is saving that for adding their own button later. They're just reserving the right to add a new button there if a new word arises that people are requesting they want added. The one next to that, you can add a folder there. So you can see that now it says add a folder. You can choose a symbol, an image, take a photo. Anytime it has that little orange tab at the top, you can add a folder. I come to the next page. These are all other ones we can add folders. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to literacy. And now you can see this looks a little bit different. We have more X's. Again, can't add a button there. And then we have the plus sign with the half down the middle. That means we can either add just a button or we can add a folder. I'm going to click on one of those. It comes up and it says the type. I can add just a button or I can click on that. I can choose to add a folder. And then that will add that in there, and then you would go behind it just like you do any of these other folders, and you have more buttons you can add. You can also go to the next page. Again, on this app, you cannot change button sizes. You can add buttons. You can add your own photos. There are buttons that are stationary that don't move, and then we have these ones that have the plus sign, and those are the ones you add. Those are ones you can move, you can switch. So that's what that looks like. I'm going to hit done, and then we will go back out to the home button, and we are back where we started. Notice these little bubbles here where when is. That's allowing you to add these side words. If there's another word you want to put with when, you could hit the plus button and add a new related word. So that's what those little thought bubbles are. I'm going to hit done. We're back on the main page. The key things to remember if you want to try this app are the tabs at the top are how you get more words behind them. The arrow at the bottom gets you to the next page. The home button always gets you back to your starting point. And then the key things you need at the bottom are on the bottom right. Remember, you can use guided access to lock a child into this app. I would think maybe if you have a child that you don't want to use the keyboard, search, or edit, you might want to circle those buttons so they can't get to those in guided access. Or maybe you just circle the edit button if they're a kid that can't add their own buttons. If they're at the point where they can add their own buttons, great, let them have access. Again, this is the new Proloquo app. I'm going to come out of here and show you Proloquo Coach. So Proloquo is this little blue owl, and Proloquo Coach is the orange owl. I'm not going to get into Proloquo Coach. I'm not logged in, but once you log in with your information, you'll have access to Proloquo Coach, and that will just be an app that can guide you through how to use Proloquo, and how to practice it, and how all the buttons work. If you have any questions about this app or you want to know more, you can call me in Missoula or Liz in Billings, and we would be happy to help you. Thanks.